Cincinnati and Houston have, for the past 3 years or so, been the two big dogs in this conference, two best teams in this conference. Being new to it, how much have you looked into the past games they've played and kind of the budding rivalry between the two for supremacy in the American?
I haven't. Just really focused on getting to know them as best I can, being it's the first time we played against them, and really focused on, what we could extract from the SMU game and how that'll help us, or what we need to, how that transfers over to Houston, and learning them as much as possible.
What's your general feeling on conference rivalries? I know Wright State one developed within KU as you guys got more successful and competitive in the league. Do you have is it just another game, or do you talk about it with the guys?
Yeah, we were always competitive in that league because we just got into it. But I would say no. I mean, the guys, the veterans know more than I do about it. I think rivalries are great because typically when there's a rivalry, it means you're competing for something, right? So, there's both teams have won, both teams have had success, both teams played for championships, and we're first and second in the league right now, so it stays the same. So I think when you're dealing with rivalry games, the reason they're such is because there's in conference, as you mentioned, is because there's something behind it. There's meaning behind it. If it was the seventh and eighth place team playing every year, I don't know that you'd be asking the same question.
John, I know everything is kind of like a season-long story for a coach and with you as well, and just kind of dealing with the season and growing throughout the season. But do you have talks with your players about this is where we want to be right now, kind of in that spot where we're battling for first place in the conference?
We talk about what our goals are before the season starts, and then we revisit those goals about once midway through the year. And my comment to them are, okay, we're in a place that we want to be in terms of the opportunities we have lying ahead of us, and we got to take advantage of them. I mean, listen, with social media and all the things and all the prognosticators, our guys, listen, I'm sure they listen to all that and see all that, but the bottom line is those people don't have any control over it. And I think when you're in this position, it's good. The guys have done a good job. We're 6-2 in the league, and we put ourselves in a position to compete for a league title, as quite a few of the teams in our league have. So probably no different than a lot of the teams feel right now. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I mean, to a certain extent, but I mean, it's all I care about is what's in that room, and we always come back to that. All that matters is what's in that room, players, coaches, and staff. So we really focus more on that. And obviously, if there's something out there that we feel can motivate us, you probably have to ask the guys that question.
On Tuesday after the game, you mentioned that you were most proud of how they played defensively.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've looked at the conference, the way we've played defensively so far in conference, and outside of really the Tulane game and the Temple game, we've not only had consistency defensively, but we've had second half consistency defensively, which has been our Achilles heel. We haven't really talked about that in the last 5 games because we found that. So when you find that, it builds confidence going forward that you can defend, and we'll certainly need to. I mean, these guys can really score the basketball, and they defend at a high level. So I think our guys realize that's our identity, and that's what we have to be really good at while our offense continues to evolve.
You've had some success against opposing teams, kind of main options, Gardner, ECU, and Davis, SMU. Houston, where it seems like they kind of have a couple they use. There's the challenge. I mean, they've got. So what I've done is, you scout. When you scout other teams, you typically try to scout games that the other opposing team looks like you. And I'm not saying we look like Houston, but they play similar to the way we do, or we play similar to the way they do in terms of the way we want to do things defensively and offensively. So I find myself scouting against Houston a lot during the course of preparing for other teams. And, wow, they got a lot of options. So, that'll be a real challenge for us. Is it kind of like a trademark of your defense that you always want to try and take out the main guy specifically, or was that just the case in maybe like this?
No, I think like anything else, you want to make teams go to their second, third option because they work on those things less. I mean, you read any Bill Belichick book or anything that the Patriots success that they have. I'm not getting comparisons, but I'm saying you try to take away teams what they do well, and if you can have some consistency in that, you force them to their second and third options. Just like if you forced us to our second and third options, it probably wouldn't be as effective.
How much does defense change game to game for you when you're scouting? How many specific things will you do?
Yeah, the thing we tell our guys is we have a system, okay? We have a way of doing things,
but our system has flexibility for scouting, and that's really where it's at. So we provide a level of flexibility for the scouting piece. To say what the number is, it's probably different each game, but we have our base system, but we have flexibility for scouting. We tell our guys from day one.
Does an emphasis change when you got a Houston team that's elite at rebounding, especially offensive rebounding? What have you guys maybe talked about in practice to get ready for that?
Well, we haven't. We start practice today, but this is an interesting question. So this is the best offensive rebounding team, and I don't speak in absolutes. The best offensive rebounding team I ever coached against was Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Terrence Jones. Their 2012 national championship team. This team's a better offensive rebounding team than that team was. And they're elite at offensive rebounding. So we better block out, because if we don't, then they get a lot of second chance points.
How much of a problem is their length with Jarrell? And,
Yeah.
they can essentially, everybody's 6'6" or taller.
Yeah, Chad, I think length and speed don't show up on film as much as you see it in person. I think we dealt with that a little bit with Memphis, and I tell guys that all the time. And the veterans will know probably more than me, but the speed and length of a team really doesn't show up until you get in. Film just doesn't give it justice till. So yeah, their length is. That's what makes them good. That and they're as disciplined and aggressive, and I think this is what's really difficult to be. It's difficult to be aggressive and disciplined defensively. Okay, if you think about that for a second. And they're both at a high level. So they're both extremely aggressive and extremely disciplined. And that speaks to how the great job that Kelvin and his staff does and the system they have in place.
And their offenses, obviously, that's kind of what they're known for. You mentioned that before. Does them kind of playing in an NBA offense, do you feel like that gives you any type of advantage? Because maybe you're
No, I don't think so. Listen, they're a top 25 team for a reason, because they're really good offensively, really good defensively, and they rebound the basketball. So there's a reason they're probably the best team in our league and one of the best in the country. So we'll have a real challenge on our hands.
I know you guys haven't really started game planning for it yet, but their size is going to be a big thing that they talk about. How does that change when you're going with a team that can, maybe not match you totally in height, but have a couple guys they can throw at you that are up over 6'8", 6'9"?
Just go ahead into like any other game. You prepare for like any other game, and Houston's a really good opponent, so I give them a lot of respect. I prepare for them likewise.
Jarrell's been playing point guard for them at 6'6". How much of a challenge is that for you, guarding a guy that long and kind of shifty the way that he is?
Yeah.
I don't know what you've seen of it on tape yet.
I haven't seen too much tape, but we're going to go into it the same way we go into any game. We're going to focus in on coach's game plan before the game and try to make the game uncomfortable for him. So that's all we do.
This will be for both you guys. Have you talked to any of the returning players just about kind of what this matchup was like last season or the past couple of years between these two teams?
A little bit. They said that Houston's one of the more like physical teams in our league, so there's kind of one thing to be expecting is that they just really like to play tough and play really physical.
Same thing. Plus, I watched a few games last year from highlights or the full game, so I knew that Houston was kind of like not the rival last year, but one of the teams to beat.
Coach just called them maybe the greatest offensive rebounding team he's ever seen, like greatest. I know you're always trying to block out and rebound, but when you've got a team that's that elite at crashing offensive boards, what do you guys have to do to stop that?
We just kind of have everybody on the same page. Just can't have any leak out. Just have all 5 guys hit their man and secure the rebound like any other game. But just if anything else, put more of an emphasis on it this game.
And I know it's always a big thing for the big man to be rebounding. What can you guys do as far as to help in that?
Just go in and help out. A lot of teams shoot threes, so when you shoot threes, it's long rebounds, as well as even when they're boxing out, just come in and help, scoop it up. Even though they're not getting the rebound, they're giving us the chance to get the rebound by hitting their mans, and we just got to come in and collect the board.
Chris, McNeal, what do you like so much about what your team is doing? Obviously, a big win here tonight, but what do you like so much about what this team is doing well right now?
I think we're just doing a good job of the game plan before the game that Coach puts in, really locking in on what he wants us to do and just having it translate over to the game.
I've got to imagine in some ways it was, grind, non-conference, kind of trying to vision what this team can be. Is it a motivating factor for you guys to be right there, kind of battling for first place now in this conference and seeing what this team can be at its best?
For sure, it shows that it kind of just shows our improvement through the course of the season. I feel like everybody knew we had a pretty hard non-conference schedule, but that's no excuse for the things that were happening, such as a couple of the losses. So just seeing where we are right now makes us feel good because we're seeing improvement throughout the course of the season.
The coach just talked about you have a defensive system, but there's some flexibility in there for different opponents and things. So, what's an example of maybe something you guys might change for a specific opponent in the days leading up to a game that's specific to just them as opposed to what you did Tuesday or last week?
We just usually just emphasize that what a team does best. So, for example, if the team has greater guard play, like last game, our point guard was averaging one of the highest points per game in the league. So we had a big emphasis on him and try to make him have a rough night. And I don't think he scored the whole night. So that's just an example of us executing the game plan. And if there's another night where a team like Houston has a really good offensive rebounding team, and we try to kind of take that away from them and try to focus on rebounding.
Anything else?
Do you see a lot of similarities between Houston and you guys?
I haven't really seen too much film on them this year, so I honestly don't know.